game. So I'm not going to go and shout out all of the names of the sub-bomb just yet, but I will shout out all of the names between this game and game number 2. So show some hype and some love in the chat, guys. We'll get around and shouting out everyone after this game, but obviously the game's already started and we don't want to dilute the epic StarCraft with shout-out after shout-out too heavily, especially when there's 20 subs. You know, it's got at that point where I was like, well, you know, maybe we'll wait between games. Okay, so Stats INnoVation, another round of 8 matchup here as we have to the bottom right-hand side the blue Terran player. This is INnoVation, who bombed out of Katowice, but at least got the title of unofficial world champion as he was able to take down Serral. And Serral has been the unofficial world champion for quite a long time with his offline streak. And now INnoVation is unofficial world champion. If you guys follow that thread on Team Liquid, it's a lot of fun. And Serral broke a lot of records with it. And it looks like INnoVation will be holding that for now, at least. Top left-hand side, our red Protoss player. This is Stats. So Stats coming in here as we get the set to roll. Robo Facility opening already from him. I know we're doing these introductions a little bit late. This game got started very quickly, but I did just want a moment to go and grab myself a drink, so apologies for that. And then, of course, we had to do another little bit of this and that. But we're finally here, and we're just jumping in time to see kind of the action kicking off. It is an expansion on the high ground from INnoVation, so he's playing very safe here. And something you don't usually see from the Terrans. Usually the expand to the low ground no matter what. As the factory moves away from the tech lab on the starboard, looking as though it wants to jump up and drop down on towards that tech lab in the next few moments. So we've seen a lot of Raven play in the PvT. In fact, I casted Stats vs INnoVation from the Olimoleague a couple of weeks ago. Not even that, like last week. And INnoVation in these games actually went for a lot of Raven pushes. And Stats did this very cool thing where he built the Templar Archives to build a single High Templar with the intention of just with a single High Templar feedbacking the Raven. And it actually worked wonderfully. And it was very fun to watch. Right here, though, you see the Banshee on the way up, and it's not going to be Cloak, which is interesting. So Cloakless Banshee definitely setting up towards a Marine Tank Banshee push. So INnoVation going to get aggressive in the next few minutes. It's interesting that we don't invest into Cloak here, but I guess just feels not worthwhile. Hasn't seen anything with the Reaper or anything, though. Hasn't been able to get into the main. If this area just walled off, becomes, I mean, you have to run through units to get into the main base, and how do you actually do that? There's no Reaper jump up ledge over here, so again, one of these maps where it's a little bit more difficult to scout as INnoVation will be dropping the scan in the center of the map. There we go, found it in the end as he was just hunting down an observer. Good catch from INnoVation, very good shutdown. And obviously, the more of those you shut down, the more that Stats maybe has to rebuild into them, spend gas on them, and slow down that Robo Facility production, especially when you're starting up that Robo Bay. Stats doing this a little bit differently to how we saw MC doing it. He's going into the +1 attack upgrade on the Forge. So not going double Forge, just the Robo Bay very quickly. Will again not take a super duper fast third base. The Banshee shows up and will get a couple of kills. I want to pull away now from those Stalkers. 3 kills though, not bad. So getting a few probes there already, and the Observer still just hanging out on the top, looking for drops, etc. But here comes the larger push now. Banshees, tanks, and Marines. It's very powerful. It's got a lot of oomph to it. But it is very kind of no follow-up, right? There's no tech lab, there's no stim pack. These tanks and Banshees go down, a lot of your early game tech is going to be disappearing, and you are putting it on the line with the fact that these units are just pushing straight forwards here. See Banshees, well, going to come back around the sides, going to get a couple shots off on a warping in Stalker. Now tanks will begin to siege up. First Colossus is out in just a few moments. The second tank goes a bit more over to the top side here. There's some USCVs to repair up the Banshees. I have to say, it's done a good job kiting with the Stalkers. These units came across the map initially. Got a lot of Marine damage done as the Stalkers now going to take some shots to one of these tanks. And that's going to be pretty deadly. Marines really take a lot of damage from the Colossus, though. Really good micro on that first Banshee, pulling it all the way back. Siege tank's still alive, and that's dangerous with the third tank showing up. This Colossus is still in trouble. Oh my god, he might be able to do this. The shield battery out of energy. 3 tanks remain, and Cybernetic score will go down, so now you can only really warp in Zealots. So actually, no Stalker to help out with further Banshee production. Well, that might be a problem in and of itself. So Banshee and a couple of Marines going to keep on pressing forwards. Picking away at this Nexus. Bunker dropping down. on the front line as well. So really just trying to power this up. Tanks immediately getting loads of damage onto that Colossus. That's the issue here. At this point, the tanks will do so much to the Colossus if they run into range, and the natural expansion is taken down, and it's obviously far and away enough damage done by INnoVation to transition out if you would like to transition, for example. Goes down this bunker on the high ground now as well. Pylon will empower the shield battery, rubber bait, and forge as well. I mean, the Immortal going to come out with this as well. It's tankier, but it goes down so quickly. The Colossus aren't even in range to get any damage done themselves. And again, these Banshees are just going to chase that Colossus down. INnoVation picks up game number 1 against Stats. Goes up into a lead in this first best of. Much appreciated as we kick off into game 2. Down a map to the top left-hand side here on year 0. Our blue Protoss player. Let's see if he can bounce back. We've got Splice Stats. Up against the red Terran in the top right-hand side, INnoVation. Stats, second place at Katowice. So close to the win once again. Obviously, he was in the finals in 2017 too. Back in those 2017 finals, he actually lost out in a 7-game series. This time it was a 6-game series. As you're going to be seeing the Corona Boost on the Nexus. Thank you so much, Sayuria. How you doing? Thank you so much for the $10 donation, saying I love after parties. All of our donations this week, guys, is going towards funding the not the IEM. I want to put IEM in front of any time I say Katowice. It's going towards funding the Katowice After Party, which is a tournament series we've set ourselves up, both myself and Take TV. So that's just explaining the reason for the donation message. Oh my god, I can't talk, can I? Thank you so much, Syria, for the $10. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. As we're going to be seeing this SCV coming across the left-hand side. And we are going to be seeing the Nexus. Stats getting started in this natural. Command Center from INnoVation going to come up in a moment or two as well. And here we go. Nexus CC. The builds will begin. INnoVation not with any sort of high ground CC this time. You'd have to be crazy to high ground here on year 0. It's such a large rush distance that not only is the Protoss extremely unlikely to rush it across the map, even if they did, it probably doesn't get there in time to be that effective. So, Raven pops out, and INnoVation is going to start moving across over to the left-hand side, as we do have Nexus completing soon, a depth and a probe on the way up from Stats as well, and we see that warp gate also just on the way in. Dragonblade90 in the chat saying, I thought Base Trade did this. Base Trade used to be the Olimoleague cast. Nowadays, it's Maynard who does it, but he's traveling back from IEM Katowice, so I'm filling in for Maynard today, bringing you guys all of this wonderful high-level Korean StarCraft 2 action. I mean, what more could you ask for? It's just awesome, isn't it? As the Adept goes chasing down that Reaper, he's taking a couple of shots there. Pops up to the high ground. Robot facility in the meantime from Stats coming through. So similar opening to game number 1. As you see the command center from INnoVation finishing up on the natural expansion. Going to be seeing a couple more Marines coming out. This mule actually pulling away on the factory. About to finish up in the main base as well. So that factory finishing, Starport will drop down. INnoVation so far very similar to the last game. We'll see if he's... I mean, it's unlikely he does something the same because of the rush distance, the distance from base to base. It's a very long distance to reinforce across, and let's face it, in that last game, the reinforcements were absolutely critical for INnoVation. The third tank showing up was a big moment. The extra Banshee, obviously, to help take the Colossus down. It just kept that push going when otherwise it was about to fizzle out. And that was, that would not really happen here in this game if INnoVation was to try and push as well. Now, he is getting a Cyclone. A Cyclone can be fairly aggressive, but already the second barracks as well. Looks as though Starport will just build its own tech lab. Barracks will swap onto the tech lab for the stim upgrade. And the factory will probably start up its own tech lab as well to go into some early game tanks. Tanks are just very good early game. They keep you very safe. And then you can transition into Widow Mines a little bit later on after 2 or 3 tanks. Keep you safe, maybe push with them. This time I believe Raven will be the choice here from the Starport. Makes a lot of sense given what we've kind of seen the setup for. Banshee is obviously a very kind of harassment force, or harassment focus / I'm going to be trying to attack very early. And the setup right now going into stim etc. really lends itself to the power of a Raven in terms of being able to get itself in there, as Stats has a little bit of a dance with the Observer. But yeah, it really lends itself to this Raven being very, very useful. I mean, the ability to drop down an anti-armor missile is huge. It really gives the bio that much more damage output. You drop an interference matrix on a Colossus, all of a sudden you can actually fight Colossus armies. So the Raven, we've seen it be a huge, huge feature in these TVPs as of late. And I'm sure we'll see, I mean, maybe we'll see stats adding that Templar Archives just for the one single High Templar. Again, he did this in a series against INnoVation in the Olimoleague not so long ago. I casted that on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out, youtube.com/WardiTV. Interesting as you see the +1 attack coming through. The extended thermal lance starting on the Robo Bay and the probe coming down to drop the Twilight Council in the natural expansion as well. Stats still with the Observer just on the top side of the map, and Raven chasing this Observer down, but there's a lot of dead airspace here, so it will be able to survive for the moment. Unless the Cyclone comes in. Wow. Okay, well, I mean, it could have gone further up here, right, and kept itself safe. And then you would have had to go into something like a Viking or two. We actually see straight away, by the way, Reactor on the factory, so straight to Widow Mines. Not going to mess around with the tank play here, like I said he might. Might just feel, again, safe enough on this map compared to some of the other maps. And definitely is, again, just that little bit of a larger rush distance, and so it can deter pros players from wanting to be aggressive. Love this, by the way. So brave. Just move onto the map with the Raven and the Cyclone. But it gives him so much info, and he is able to shut down another Observer, and it takes away a lot of information from Stats, who would love to know when INnoVation is pushing out, who would love to know, well, when am I going to have to deal with Terran units in my base? And the thing is, losing those Observers, he's lost a couple now, and so his vision is actually extremely limited. His only vision on the map is this one Adept coming through the bottom side, and an Observer which will spot drops heading towards the main base. Through some of the pathways, it doesn't actually cover the entire area. This map is extremely droppable. On that top side is INnoVation. Is denying information. Pressing forwards here. Raven is safe because there's no blink. And as you do see, charging +1 armor starting up from Stats now. Feels confident to push forward towards this army though. I kind of feel there's got to be a moment here from INnoVation where you just turn and say, well, come on then. I mean, this is not a lot of units. There's not reinforcements available. We don't mind burrows, and that's where Stats will turn around. The Raven decided to stay across the map. What if the Raven had stayed with this army, and INnoVation just drops the interference matrix on 2 Colossus and just stems into it? Okay, there was force fields available, but this army was in a very open area right here, right? What's INnoVation's team? It's reciprocity. I can't say it again. Reciprocity. It's something like that. I can't say it. I really suck at it. So we tried to teach it to me in chat the other day, and I still messed it up. It's kind of incredible how bad I could be at saying it. Anyways, 2 medevacs up to the top side. We see this Observer. Already seen a couple of these medevacs, so actually very good info on the one Observer that remains. It's in a perfect spot to spy on the fact that INnoVation wants to drop this main base. So the Colossus already moving forwards. Although he wasn't quite in position, I thought he might be further forwards with this, considering the situation. Drops the interference matrix on the Colossus already. Probes fall away. The Colossus were derping forwards for a moment or two there. Stats now correcting that, though, and pulling them back as the Widow Mines. Getting rid of a few of the Zealots. I mean, the Colossus all coming into the main base now, realizing what's going on here. Big anti-armor missile, but obviously no real follow-up. I mean, it's a prime time to move into the third base with this army, though, because there was nothing over here. You can see Stats is immediately like, yeah, okay, there's got to be something coming, right? Now, this is going to move forwards earlier from INnoVation, though. He's missed a bit of an opportunity there, I have to say. Widow Mines will get rid of those Zealots, as INnoVation just ends up backing away. Medevacs and the Raven up in the skies. There's INnoVation coming through the center of the map. +2 attack, +2 armor. Continuing through on the forges. Couple of refineries coming up on the third base as well. Vikings gathering up together. And again, more Marines, more Marauders coming down, joining up with the rest of this army. So a lot of units gathering in here. And obviously that Viking camp started early. Gives INnoVation a good opportunity to perhaps shut down Colossus players. Oh my god, so close to completely intercepting this Warp Prism. Prism will get into the main base. Has Warp Prism speed, which is absolutely crucial here to being able to get into the main originally even, and then even recall out. Swift plays from the Warp Prism. Moves in, drops the Zealots, and just flies on out of there, recalls, and he's away. I love it. That Warp Prism speed actually super useful there from Stats, making use of the fact he has the Robo Base so early. Now INnoVation, he builds 3 Ghosts and does not go into an Armory or 2-2 upgrades. Really selling this idea of that he's about to pull SCVs. With the Ghost EMPs, a lot of Vikings, a Raven still around, he's going to go for one very large push to try and win this game. Now, he's going to be up against 2-2 upgrades of Stats. That's something Stats will have to work with. Will the SCV pull do enough though? Has to be an SCV pull, right? There's no longevity to this game otherwise. Like, there's no 2-2 upgrades. There's no intentions of a 4th base. Maybe we don't see the SCVs. They're just hanging back for now. Maybe he'll just go for one large push. Maybe forgetting the 2-2 is something he just wants to power up. But then I feel like you're basically all in anyways, right? So why not just pull the SCVs? Help out a little bit with this. Vikings, ghosts hanging around here. As we're pressing forward, INnoVation, a couple more orders leading the charge. Vikings could potentially jump straight on top of those Colossus, get a couple kills already. Archon's going to get EMP'd here, that's big. Interference made it from one Colossus as well. 2 Colossus already down, the Bio Army. Actually, with force fields kind of helping it out in a weird way. Another interference made it so Colossus are really not doing much in this fight. Vikings will now land, and I think there's enough Bio on the ground to just overrun this. The Vikings get bonus damage versus Stalkers. That said, some extra Zelds are warping in, and there is actually still 2 Immortals mixed in here. I actually missed those in amongst the Stalkers. INnoVation will type out GG, and stats will hold. Wow, those 2 Immortals actually... minutes of commercials, guys. It goes a long way to supporting the stream, and myself, of course. Top left-hand side, our red Terran player is INnoVation. To the bottom right, our blue Protoss player is Stats, as we kick off into game number 3 of the series. INnoVation team reciprocity. Reciprocity. I'm getting there. I'm making progress. Aye, aye, aye. Here's the proxy racks opening. Just the Reaper here to begin with. We saw similar things to this earlier. Ooh, blocks the assimilator from being taken. That's actually very annoying, because obviously it gives the really delays what you want to do here as the Protoss player, which is to have 2 gases up and running. And now the Reaper coming in as well. Now he's going to be able to fight those probes, and he gets the refinery block down. And that's annoying because the Zealot can't just turn around and fight it, because the Reaper is here to keep it busy. So really sick, cute little plays from INnoVation so far. Oh, don't want to lose the Reaper though to the Zealot. That would be a bit of a mistake. Built a tech lab here, so he's actually going into Concussive Shells, Marauders, probably Cyclones back at home to come in and kind of take advantage of the slow units that can't get away as easily. Oh, it's going to be Hellions. Okay, so Hellion Marauder attack getting set to go. As we do see those couple of SCVs chasing that probe down. So probe getting chased around up in the main base. Another Hellion on the way out. Marauders continue to come in as well. And the warp gate already coming through on that cybernetics core. So getting that warp gate up and running. There's more Marauders just popping out here. Concussive Shells is about to be done. He's actually going to catch a Stalker. Huge catch here with the Concussive Shells as well. That's going to go down. Reaper bounces himself back. He's like, you know what? You're so dead. I'm going to bounce myself back in celebration. As we do see Hellions coming across now. No shield battery on the low ground yet. It is starting to build now. Marauders poking in. Hitting before the shield batteries is huge, as we're going to be seeing that Zealot will go down. I think the Stalker will go down as well before the shield batteries come up, and then you can hit the Pylon. And Pylon's obviously a big pick-off as well, because when the Pylon drops down... well, actually, you know what? 3 Marauders might just be able to... Okay, well, the shield battery still didn't even come up in time. Bunker on the low ground, and INnoVation's push is just absolutely catching stats off guard. This Pylon will drop, and again, now the shield batteries will be unpowered. And that's just GG from Stats. Just can't hold this. There's too much damage done from INnoVation. This just got out of hand so quickly.